science media lessons. In the previous class, we learnt about series and parallel combination of resistors. If the resistors are connected in series, you know that the effective resistance is the sum of the individual resistors. If you connect the resistors in parallel, the reciprocal of the effective resistance is the sum of the reciprocals of individual resistors. That means to say, the effective resistance decreases. It won't be the sum of the individual resistors. Okay. Now, I would like to ask you a simple question. We come across many electrical devices, appliances in our daily life. We use so many appliances at home. For example, in the kitchen we use a mixer grinder. If you run the grinder, say for example 15 or 20 minutes, if you touch the surface of the mixer grinder, how do you feel? Yes, you can feel that the surface of the mixer grinder is warm or sometimes little hot also. Similarly, say for example we are using an incandescent bulb, that ordinary electric bulb. You switch on the electric bulb and after say 1 minute time, just touch the surface of the bulb. Be careful, okay? And you can feel that it's hot. There are so many such cases. For example, your mobile phone. Everybody is using mobile phone these days. When you keep it for charging, you just feel the mobile phone. Just hold it in your hand and feel it gets warm. What is the reason for this? That is the concept we are going to discuss in this class. So let us learn heating effect of electric current in this class. You know what is current? It's a flow of electric charges. In other words, flow of electrons. When electrons flow through a conductor or an electrical gadget or an electronic component, the material of the conductor or the material of the component, offers what? Resistance to the flow of charges. Resistance to the flow of charges. And you know that is called the resistance of that material. Now, in a material, you know that the atoms and molecules are normally in a state of vibration. It will be vibrating. You won't be able to see because we are not able to see the atoms and molecules. Then how can we see the vibration? Not possible. It's in the state of vibration. That means every molecule, every atom has some amount of kinetic energy. This vibrating atoms and molecules interrupt, cause obstruction to the flow of charges or electrons through them. So in this course of charges flowing through the material, some amount of energy, kinetic energy of the electrons get transferred to the vibrating molecules or atoms of the material of the conductor or electric component. when energy is transferred, kinetic energy is transferred to the atoms, the energy of the atoms increases. The kinetic energy increases. This increase in kinetic energy is manifested as rising temperature. You learned all these things in your previous classes. And you know, the average kinetic energy of all the molecules is nothing but temperature of that material, of that body, of that gadget. The total kinetic energy of all the molecules of the material is termed as heat content of that material, of that conductor, maybe a wire, maybe a resistor, or any electronic component. I hope you made it clear. It is clear to you. So, what is heating effect? Production of heat in a material, maybe a conductor or any electric component, by the flow of current through it. Production of heat by the flow of current through a conductor or a material of the electric or electronic component is termed as heating effect. This heating effect may be undesirable. We may not like, say for example, an incandescent bulb getting heated is not the purpose. We want light from the bulb, but it gets heated, so it is undesirable. Your mobile phone getting heated, you don't like it. When you use it constantly, it gets heated, you don't like it. Undesirable effect. There are desirable effect also. Desirable effect of heating, effect of electric current. Desirable effect. We want that. Say for example, electrical appliances like electric iron. Electric iron. What for it is used? To press your clothes. So the iron should get heated. Instead, if it is giving light, it's of no use. It should get heated. Your OTG in the kitchen. OTG means oven cum toaster grill. Oven cum toaster grill for cooking, baking, biscuits, cake and all you use. Nowadays people use even microwave oven. So OTG is the previous before the advent of this microwave oven, we were using OTG, oven cum toaster grill. Gets heated when current flows through the heating element of that device, it gets heated. It's desirable effect. You have water geysers in the bathroom. What for it is used? To heat water for your bathing purpose, for your washing purpose. So, in all these cases, heating effect is desirable. Heating effect is desirable. Children, now we are going to do a simple experiment wherein I demonstrate the heating effect of electric current. This is a 4.7 ohm 10 watt resistor connected to a battery source. Okay, I'll just switch on, and after some time, maybe 1 minute, you can just now, sir, please come and feel the surface of this resistor. How's it? Hot or cold?
Cold.
Cold, yeah. It's confirmed. Now I'm going to switch on, and after 1 minute time, we'll see how it is. Yeah, it's getting warm. Yes, 1 minute is not required. Okay, I'm going to switch it off. Sir, you please feel the surface of the resistor. How's it? How's it?
Hot.
It's hot. It's not warm. It's hot. It's hot. Isn't it? Ma'am, you too feel, you can also feel this. How is it?
Yeah, it is very hot.
Yeah, it's hot. So, heat can't be seen, but you can feel it. The current flowing through this resistor heats up the resistor. That means to say, a part of the kinetic energy of the electrons flowing through the resistor gets transferred to the material of the resistor, and the kinetic energy of the molecules increases. The total kinetic energy is manifested as heat content of the material. Even now it is hot. I am used to all these things, so I can hold it, but you have to be very careful. Now we are going to do one more simple experiment. Here I have connected two resistors. One is 4.7 ohm, the other one is 15 ohm, parallelly to a battery source. Both the resistors are at normal temperature, so you can just feel it and tell me whether the resistors are hot or cold.
Both are cold.
Yeah, that's fine. Now I am going to switch it on and wait for some time and we'll feel it. Which one gets heated more? Which one among these two, which one gets heated more? The same potential difference is maintained at the ends of the resistors. Depending on the resistance of the resistors, the current flowing may be different. Now we'll just feel the resistors. Sir, you just tell me. You need not worry. Both simultaneously.
This is very hot.
Yeah. This one, the 4.7 ohm resistor is much hotter than the 15 ohm resistor. Even though they are connected to the same battery source parallelly, the 4.7, the resistor which is having less resistance is getting more heated. The other one is getting slightly heated. You have to make note of this. This is very important observation. There is considerable difference between theory and practical in this case. Okay. Now, practical observation. See, this is damn hot it is. It will burn your finger. Whereas this one, see, it's not that, it is warm. Just try, sir. Huh?
Yeah.
You understand? So, even though both the resistors are of the same wattage, same potential difference is maintained across the ends of the resistors, the 15 ohm resistor, the higher the resistance, lesser is the heat developed. Practical observation. Lower the resistance, higher is the heat developed. What could be the reason for this? Children, these are all experiments on electricity. So unless you do it under the supervision of elders or teachers, it may be dangerous. So don't try yourself without knowing what it is. Right. Children, heat developed in a current carrying or current flowing conductor. Heat H is proportional to square of the current, that is I square. These are all from practical observations. From practical observations, we know that the heat developed in a conductor, current flowing conductor, is directly proportional to the square of the current. What do you mean by this? If more current flows, the heat developed will be multiplied many times. This is the square. Say for example, if 2 ampere of current flows through the circuit, 2 into 2, that is 4. The heat developed in the conductor will be 4 times more. Secondly, the heat developed in the conductor is proportional to the resistance of the conductor R. So the theory says the heat developed is proportional to the resistance, but actually in practical we found that when the resistance increases, heat developed decreases. I'll explain explain the reason for this. Third point is heat developed is proportional to the duration of flow of current T. So if you pass the current through the conductor or the resistor or the heating device, the heat developed is proportional to how long you keep the device switched on. Time fact. You understand? It's very simple, common sense. So if you combine all these things, the heat developed in a current flowing conductor or a electrical device is equal to I square RE. Joules. Unit of energy. Heat is also a form of energy. So the heat developed is measured in terms of joules. This relationship H is equal to I square RT is called Joule's law of heating. How do you state Joule's law of heating? From this relationship you can easily state it. The heat developed in a current carrying conductor is the product of square of the current, resistance of the conductor and duration of flow of current. That's all. Very simple. Heat developed in a current carrying conductor is the product of current flowing through the conductor, resistance of the conductor and duration of flow of current. Definition is very simple. There is no brainstorming problems. Okay. Now we come to the practical aspect and theory. Now look at this relation. When current increases, heat developed gets multiplied by itself. If 2 amperes of current flows, heat developed increases by 4 times. This relation shows that if resistance of the conductor increases, heat developed also increases. The statement says that. Isn't it? This is mathematics. Heat developed increases with the duration of flow of current T. It's fine, correct only. But there is a deviation from practical and theory. You know, resistance is what? The obstruction offered by the material of the conductor for the flow of current. When resistance increases, current decreases. That is a fact. When resistance of the conductor increases, current decreases. Heat developed is square of the current. So current decreases, it decreases drastically. That is the reason why here we found the 15 ohm resistor is less heated, whereas the 4.7 ohm resistor, it is hot even now. The lower the resistance, higher is the heat dissipated by the resistor, by the conductor. You understand? Hope I made the point very clear. So here you should understand the science. Understand the science properly in this relation. Don't simply say heat development increases with increasing resistance of the conductor. That's wrong idea. Because there is a relation between current resistance and time duration. When resistance increases, current flowing decreases. So heat development will be less. When resistance decreases, more current flows through the resistor and more heat will be developed. Okay. This point is very clear. Children, now we'll work out a problem based on Joule's law of heating. 100 joules of heat is produced per second in a 4 ohm resistor. Find the potential difference across the resistor, across the ends of the resistor. So, list the data given in the question. Heat is 100 joules, resistance is 4 ohms, time duration is 1 second. So H is equal to I square RT. This is from Joule's law. So I square is H divided by RT. We will replace I by V by R. From Ohm's law, you know V is equal to Ri or I is equal to V by R. So I have replaced I square by V square by R square. Now you can cancel this R, 1 R from here and this R also. What you get is V square by R is equal to H by T. This R is gone. H by T, mathematical simplification. Or V square is HR by T, cross multiplication. H into R by T. Now substitute the values. Heat is 100 joules, resistance is 4 ohms, time is 1 second. V square is 100, so V square is this much. Take the square root of this now to find V. Square root of 100 is 10, square root of 4 is 2, 10 into 2 is 20 volts. The potential difference across the resistor is 20 volts. So here we have made use of not only Joule's law of heating but also Ohm's law. Children, now let us study some of the practical applications of heating effect of electric current. First of all, let us consider incandescent bulb. If you examine the bulb, you can see a very thin coil filament inside the bulb. The ends of the filament is connected to the external terminals. When you switch on the bulb, current flows through the filament. The filament is made up of a high resistance nichrome or tungsten wire. Nichrome wire or tungsten wire is used as filament. The current flowing through the filament heats up the filament. The temperature rises and the filament starts glowing with a process called thermionic emission. A process called thermionic emission. The heated filament emits light by a process called thermionic emission. So this is one of the practical application of heating effect of electric current. All the heating devices what we use in our daily life, like electric iron, electric geyser, kitchen appliances like a toaster grill, then your electric stove, all these are applications, directly applications of heating effect of electric current. Another important application of heating effect of electric current is electric fuse. You might have seen this fuse cutout used in the AC mains board in your house, the main switch board of the electricity supply point. You might have seen this fuse cutout, this cutout. If you remove this cutout, then there won't be any electricity supply. What is the use of this? So in this fuse cutout, you can see a wire is connected. So fuse is in series. The fuse cutout is used in series in the circuit. A fusible metal wire made of an alloy of aluminium, copper and iron. Aluminium, copper and iron is used. This fuse wire has higher resistance and lower melting point. This fuse wire has higher resistance and lower melting point when compared to the connecting wires, that is the copper wire. When excess of current flows through this fuse wire, which is connected in series, the fuse wire, which is an alloy of aluminium, copper and iron, it gets heated, and when the temperature increases beyond a certain level, the fuse wire blows off and disconnect the circuit. You understand? So thereby disconnect the fuse wire blows off and disconnect the circuit, thereby protect the circuit. So fuse is used as a protective device in electrical installations. So this is again a very important application of heating effect of electric current. This is a practical fuse cutout used in industrial as well as domestic circuit. Another type of fuse which is used in electronic as well as electric equipments. So if you examine the this fuse block, inside you can see a small wire inside, understand, and with two end caps. This will be inserted in the circuit in series, and it is written what is the current rating and what is the voltage rating. All these things will be written here. Maybe if you examine here, you can see this is 220 volts, 2 ampere. So this fuse allows 2 amperes of current in a 220 volts main. If the current flowing through the fuse, this wire, this fuse block increases beyond 2 amperes, then this fuse blows off and protect the circuit. If excess of current flows through the circuit may get damaged, so it protects the circuit. So this is the application of fuse. Here we make use of heating effect of electric current. So there are so many such applications of heating effect of electric current. Those who are interested can log into internet and find out many more applications of heating effect of electric current. Now let us go to another important aspect, that is electric power. In the previous classes, that is in 9th standard as well as in 8th standard, you might have come across the term power. Power. What is power? Power is rate of doing work. Am I right? Power is rate of doing work. In the same way, electric power is the rate of doing work by electricity, or rate at which electricity is being consumed. The rate at which electricity is being consumed, or the rate at which electricity does work, it is known as electric power. So it's very simple. Any electrical machine, say for example you have a electric pump at home to lift water to the overhead tank. What is the power of that pump? If you examine the pump, there will be a sticker on the pump and it will be written like this: 220 volts, then 275 volt ampere or watts or half HP. You understand? So the power, at what rate electricity is consumed or electricity is made to do work, that is called the power of that device. So, electric power is the rate of doing work by electricity. Power and energy are one and the same. Power and energy are one and the same. So from Joule's law, H is equal to I square RT. This heat developed is nothing but energy. Heat is a form of energy, no? So instead of H, I use E. So this is electrical energy is I square RT. R can be replaced by V by I. So if you simplify, you get IVT. So many joules. What is power? Rate of doing work, rate of consumption of electrical energy. Power is E by T is IVT divided by T, rate. Rate refers to time, T and T cancels, is equal to I into V watts. T is equal to IV watts. What is this watts? It is the unit of power. We have come across this unit watts long back in our previous classes, that is 9th or 8th standards. So P is equal to IV watts. The unit watts is selected as a respect to the great scientist. Can you tell me? Can anyone tell me from where come this watts? Yes, James Watt. What is his major contribution? He is the first person to devise a steam engine in the 16th century, which revolutionized, which paved the foundation for industrial revolution in the 16th century. So James Watt, as a respect to the great scientist James Watt, scientist as well as engineer, the unit of power is taken as watts. So the electric power of a device is given by I into voltage. I is current, V is voltage. So the product of current and voltage gives the power of that device. Hope I made the point very clear. Now let us work a simple problem. Children, now we'll work out a practical problem based on electric power. An electric bulb is connected to a 220 volts line. Draws a current of 0.5 ampere. What is the power of the bulb? So the data is listed here. Voltage, that is the potential difference, is 220 volts. Current drawn is 0.5 ampere. And you know the relation. Power is equal to IV watts. I is 0.5. V is 220 volts. If you multiply these two, you get 110 watts. What is the unit of power? Watts. Okay. So very simple. There are similar problems in the exercise. So work it out and improve your problem solving skill. Children, here is the assignment for you. State Joule's law of heating. Second question, list the practical applications of heating effect of electric current. Third one, define electric power. An electric fridge, that is a refrigerator, okay, draws a current of 1.5 ampere from 220 volts mains. What is the power of the fridge? Children, there are plenty of questions in the exercise, so try to answer all the questions and work out the problems. Okay, so here we have come to an end of the lesson, electricity. So go through the lesson once again. I have not touched all the things. Some of the things might have been missed. So go through everything and learn properly for your exams. That's all. Thank you very much. All the best.